Patrick Harmon was a 50-year-old black man living in Utah, in Salt Lake City. He's originally a St. Louis native, as you'll see in some of our coverage in this story. And he was acting a little bit erratically. He was on his bicycle and cops pulled him over. People wonder why there's a Black Lives Matter movement, why players in the NFL are protesting systematic police abuse. Well, this is part of the reason why. Now, I'm going to show you a video here. If you're crazy, this is not the video to watch. If you care about what's actually happening in America, then you got to see this. But here, the warning is very specific here. The man you're going to see here, Patrick Harmon, is in the last minutes of his life, the last seconds of his life. And I want you to pay attention to when he runs away and what happens. Because I'm going to read you afterwards what the police claimed happened and how they said it was incredibly clear that Harmon was about to threaten their life. But you're going to see the actual video for yourself with your own eyes here. So here's what happened.
Understandable. Patrick, you already know about your warrant, right? Okay, well okay, I believe that. But I need you to take your backpack off for me, okay? Take your backpack off for me. Okay, put your hands behind your back for me. 244 priority, shots fired. Start medical. Okay, cover him. I got him. Hey, firm. Start medical. Shots fired. We got one man in custody.
Look, I don't know what part of that video is more haunting. When you start watching it, you know he's going to be dead within 30 seconds. When he's shot and bleeding out and they handcuff him anyway, they already took the backpack off. They already knew he had no weapons. But nope, that's not what the police say. So let me tell you how it went down here. On Wednesday, as CNN reports, after a 7-week investigation, the Salt Lake County District Attorney concluded the officer's use of deadly force was justified because the officers said they feared Harmon was going to hurt them, according to a letter the district attorney sent to the Salt Lake County Sheriff and the city's police chief detailing his investigation into the incident. You just saw the video. There's no other video. There's no other evidence. So they say, no, that guy, as he was running away, put them in mortal danger. They thought they were going to die any second from Harmon, and that's why they had to shoot him in the back. And then officials look at it and go, oh yeah, absolutely, that's right, justified. You wonder why people are angry. All right, I'll give you more details of their excuses. Harmon was stopped by a police officer on the evening of August 13th after he rode a bicycle across 6 lanes and a median, according to a narrative laid out by the district attorney, Sim Gill. Harmon was required to have a red rear taillight on his bicycle, the officer told him. Oh, I didn't know he was that dangerous. He was missing a red rear taillight on his bicycle. And that's why they had to shoot him 4 times in the back, because he was such a big danger. Now look, was he acting erratically? Yes, going across those lanes and going across the median. It turns out he had mental health issues. If I saw a guy doing that, I'd say, whoa, that's dangerous. Let me make sure I pull him over. That makes sense. I don't know if Salt Lake City has people who can help with mental health issues. All police departments should, some do, San Antonio does, and they do a great job with it, right? And I would call that person for help. But would I think this guy's on the precipice of killing me with his missing taillight on his bicycle? I'm not sure that's the conclusion I would reach. Fox, and that was the officer who shot him, later told investigators that as Harmon was running away, he stopped and turned back towards the officers with a knife in his hand, yelling, "I'll effing stab you." You saw the video. There is no other video. So they said, no, yeah, perfectly clear. He was clearly running back towards the officers. The officers were about to die. They saw the knife, and then they had to shoot him. Is that the video you saw? Go back and rewatch it. Officer Fox said he feared if he didn't immediately use deadly force, Mr. Harmon was going to stab him and or the other officers. Well, if that's what they saw, it certainly wasn't clear, because that is not what the rest of us saw. So if you slow down the video, maybe you see him looking back. Maybe you could make a case that as he was running away, he turned around a little bit. I don't know where the knife is. They claim it's clear that the knife's in the video. You go back, slow it down as much as you like and watch the video again. No. In their version, and this is what's the unbelievable part, it was clear that the guy running away who was shot in the back 4 times was about to kill the police officers. And you wonder why people are angry, and you wonder why they protest. That's why they protest, because that's not what happened. We could all see it with our eyes. It's not remotely what happened. Now, I told you he was a St. Louis native. Our TYT Politics reporter Jordan Chariton is in St. Louis covering the protest, and he actually caught up with Antoinette Harmon, who's his sister. And I want to show you a piece of that interview.
It's just a bunch of bull what they said. I just don't believe anything they said, because first of all, if he had a knife and a gun, they would have been released this camcorder footage. And to receive it last week, it was hard to watch. You know, it hurt me real bad. And then they say they shot him in the torso. They done covered this little investigation up so much. And really, it's not fair. And for them to justify the police killing my brother and they put a knife. What you see in the video, I did not see him with no knife. They say you slow the video down, you can see a knife. No, that still didn't give them a reason to shoot my brother running. And they covered it up so much, they say torso. He was shot from the back. I mean, really, I didn't get no information from my brother until last week. And they just sent me a police report, and it's not complete because the FBI took over.
So let's break it down a little bit further. Listen to what she said. So first of all, the cops tell you, don't believe your lying eyes. There was a knife. Okay, let's grant him for a second that there was a knife. He's 50 years old. All the officers are in much better shape and much younger. So if he turned around in that half a second, they had no choice but to shoot him 4 times. They couldn't pause, they couldn't stop, they couldn't hold their guns and say, drop your weapon if he had one. They couldn't do any of that. They only had one choice, put 4 bullets in him immediately. That's why I say the police training is wrong, because they train him, kill him, and don't worry about it. We'll get you off later, and it's true, they do get him off later every time. Shot him in the torso. I would love to see an actual medical examiner to see if those bullets entered the front or the back, because our eyes seem to indicate that they entered from the back. And so they just keep asking us to believe things that are not believable. For God's sake, have some decency. And if he's got mental health issues, just pause for a second before you kill him dead and then handcuff him as he bleeds out. Where's the humanity? But they train the humanity out of him. They say, no, it's okay. If there's even a slight doubt something might have looked like a knife for half a second, just kill the guy and be done with it. That's not what police who serve the entire community are supposed to do. All right, more from his sister.
We need to be heard, and they need to change laws. They really need to do something about these police. First of all, it's a lot of people that has mental illness problems, homelessness. It don't give them the right. These are people. They are important too. Educate them, help them. Don't kill them. Don't take their life because you have a gun. Really, you give them a chance to go to court. We need more places to help people that. Because my brother, he was bipolar schizophrenic. So
shouldn't be a death sentence though.
No, it shouldn't be.
Look, I told you about San Antonio before. If you actually train officers the right way and you give them the help that they need, you know what happens? The number of people with mental health issues who are killed in San Antonio by cops is way, way lower than the rest of the country. Why? Because they actually bother to train the cops right, so they serve the community. These things are fixable. Instead of fixing them, what do? They cover it up and go, oh, well, okay, well, I was in danger for a half a second, so I just killed a guy, who cares? I mean, I say who cares, and you say, well, I don't know. You know, do you know that who cares? Yeah, I do. I saw the video. Yes, I know. Look, I sometimes think, okay, what would I mean, and I hope you think this too. And this is to be fair to the police. What would you do in that situation? The guy's running away. It's erratic. Could you be in some degree of fear? Sure, you could be in some degree of fear. You got to chase him down. I guess that's a hassle. You know, I hope you can do that. He turns around for a half. Would you really shoot him? You're not sure if he's holding anything. And he was just crying a second ago. He's already taken off his backpack. He looks like he might have some mental health issues. You would have murdered him? You would have killed him? I hope to God you wouldn't have. And I hope to God we can train our police better than that.
They have been trained. Sorry, they've been trained. There's protocol. We've seen it because we see enough of these videos. Once the person is on the ground bleeding to death, I'll be fast. They always keep guns on them. That's a training technique. They always cuff them. That's a training technique. How come they remember those all the time? It's because those are taught to them. So when you shoot a guy in the back, apparently that's okay as long as you're afraid that you're going to be embarrassed when you go back to the precinct and your fellow officers say, oh, you got away from me, didn't you? Oh, you're a loser. You're afraid of that is what you're afraid of. So then after all this goes on, also, if he had a knife, he was halfway cuffed. He had one arm behind his back and was approaching the second. You didn't check for weapons yet? I thought that's police protocol too. Why would you cuff someone? Why would you even begin to cuff a suspect that has weapons on them? Oh, you just messed up before that too. So your training is all off. None of these stories conflict. All these stories conflict. None of them make any sense to go with your normal protocol. It's all made up, and they know the main thing they know is if you mess up, you can kill someone, we will cover for you no matter what. Say what happened. Even though it wasn't what happened, say what happened, we'll believe you, and we'll say it was perfectly plausible. It doesn't make any sense.
All right, we're gonna give the last word to his sister, Antoinette Harmon. You could watch the whole video on youtube.com/TYT Politics. Jordan did a great job of interviewing her, but here she is.
Patrick was a beautiful person. He had a good heart. He was a family person. Pat was more of our protector. He meant my children and myself. He was a family guy. He loved his family. He wasn't perfect.
He loved life.
He loved life, and he loved to enjoy it to the fullest before they took it from him.
And he was only 50, right?
He was 50. He would have been 51 tomorrow.
Wow.
Tomorrow's his birthday.
A birthday he's not gonna have. It's not that folks in this country are protesting too much. They're not protesting nearly enough. Young Turks.